Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. I'm excited to dive into the topic of gratitude today. It's not the first time. I want to hit it a little bit differently. But first, I just want to start with a single word. Thank you. That's 2 words. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I truly mean thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in, allowing me to share pieces of information that I believe can help. For me, it's what provides fulfillment for me. It's a big part of my journey, and it means the world when people reach out and say, "Hey, this episode had an impact. I've been down lately, and I appreciate the content you're putting out." Things like that mean the world, and so many people have reached out with that. And so I'm so happy to hear that the time is not being wasted. The time is being spent on something valuable, even if it impacts just one person. So truly, thank you for allowing me to be a part of the journey. I want to ask you, is being a part of today's episode, to share the episode, share the information so that it can reach and impact more people. Drop likes and comments, and really join the conversation, because it's important to continue to grow on not just listening to what I have to say, but like ask a question or share how you practice something that I share in the episode in a comment. Those things go a long way. Not only does that something that somebody else can see that can help them, but if it's a question, it's something that might be able to provide some more insight for you. So let's do that. I do want to remind you all, this episode is fueled by Prepping with Peppers. Thankful for them as well. It's going on a year almost now that they've been a sponsor, and it means the world to have their support. So thank you to them. And to get right into it, obviously, it was just Thanksgiving. This episode's dropping right after that. So gratitude, thankfulness, all of that is just fresh on the mind, and that's why I wanted to talk about it right now. We spend Thanksgiving like reflecting and sharing things that we're thankful for. And, the common responses and the common things that people share, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful to be alive, or just to have another day above ground on this earth. Those are great things to be thankful for, and they're the common things. It's also great when you challenge your mind to find things that you don't normally think of. Like, if you challenge your mind, like, what is something that I'm thankful for? That, I'm thankful for my fingernails, or like I'm thankful for that, that I don't have to walk everywhere, that maybe I have a means of transportation, like all kind of different things, like anything under the sun. I don't want to give too many ideas, but ultimately, like, get creative in your mind whenever you're thinking of like, how can I express gratitude? And by getting creative, you exercise your gratitude muscle in your brain. The reason I bring up exercising your gratitude muscle, is because just like exercise, you have to be consistent. So the reason that I do Tuesdays is just to have a consistent schedule of sharing gratitude through my social media channels, with the hopes of having other people share, or that it lifts somebody up if they weren't starting their day off well. And I'll tell you this, not every day that I share on a Tuesday means that I'm having a great day, or means that my day started off right, or I'm like feeling great that morning. But I've built a habit to where, regardless of how I feel, I want to do that. And what I have found from it is that often, if I'm not having a good day, it helps my mind to have to try to focus and to find something to be thankful for, that helps kind of bring me out of my funk, or helps bring me up at least a little bit. But also, regardless of how I'm feeling, it has the ability to impact other people and how they're feeling. Or they might see it, and it might be something that reminds them to find something they're grateful for. So that's a gratitude practice of mine. But when it comes to practicing gratitude consistently, it requires the consistency to build your gratitude muscle. Think of going to the gym and you're trying to grow your biceps. If I'm only hitting biceps like once a month, I'm not going to see results. Like you just won't, because you're not compounding on it. You're not doing it frequently enough to actually see a gain or to have an impact. So there's a lot of different ways. I've talked about in previous episodes, different ways to practice gratitude. So I don't want to do a deep dive into those. Like there's things like gratitude journaling that I think are great. And that can be starting your day off or ending your day with just writing down 3 things from your day that you're thankful for that stand out to you. Now, something that I want to share as a relation point is learning about gratitude. For me, it kind of started with master resilience training. And in master resilience training, that's a program for the military that teaches resiliency skills. And it's called Hunt the Good Stuff in master resilience training. And when we teach it can tend to have a negative stigma if it's not taught right or done in the right way. It can have a negative stigma around it, because when you say like hunt the good stuff, a lot of times people can take that as like, regardless of how bad things are, oh, I'm supposed to just be Mr. Optimist. And that's not what it's intended to do, or not what it's meant to be for. It's meant to overcome your negativity bias. Like us as people, our minds naturally gravitate toward negative. And it's meant to be a defense mechanism to protect ourselves. Like we focus on the negative so that we can prepare to defend ourselves. But there's not always actually something that we need to be defended from. And so by practicing gratitude regularly and consistently with training that gratitude muscle, you're actually training your mind to naturally start to pick up and focus on the good things, the positive things that are going on in your life more easily. So it doesn't mean that bad things aren't still going on, but it means that you might more readily recognize positive things that are going on when they happen. And so when you first start something like gratitude journaling and writing down 3 good things that happen in your day, you might struggle with trying to figure out like what are 3 good things that even happen today. And you actually have to spend time trying to like reflect and really think like what was good today, and it takes a little bit. But then if you do it again tomorrow, you may throughout the day recognize like, oh, hey, that's something I might put in my gratitude journal tonight. I think that's a good thing to put down. And then it'll be easier when you go to your gratitude journal that night. And then the next day, kind of similar. And the next day, kind of similar. And gradually, as things happen in your day, you're like, oh, that's going to my gratitude journal. You notice it in the moment. And that is what you're trying to build toward, is noticing the good things and the things that you're thankful for in the moment, rather than letting them pass you by and not acknowledging them. And when you start to do that, there's a lot of benefits for it. And I want to get into some of those benefits today, like the benefits of practicing gratitude regularly. So I got into the gratitude journaling just as one example. There are other ways to practice gratitude, and I encourage you to look more into those. But today, I want to spend time focusing on why should you even practice gratitude? Well, like why look that up, or why consider gratitude journaling, or why join in on a Tuesday of sharing 2 good things that are going on in your life. So I just want to dive into some of those key benefits so that you can say, hey, like those sound good to me. Like I want that in my life. And if it is, that can be part of your why. It can be part of what helps you to start to incorporate that practice consistently. So, number 1, it's been a big topic lately. Also, September was Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and I got into that, but it's something that I want to continue to address throughout the year. So I think it's important to get into mental health benefits. So you have improved mood, reduced stress and anxiety, and decreased risk of depression. Why is that? Because gratitude helps shift focus from negative to positive experiences, enhancing overall happiness. So like I was talking about, starting to recognize those positive things in the moment to enhance how you feel. Reduce stress and anxiety. So this is, I'm not saying that like if you're on anxiety medicine that you can just get off of that, but I'm saying there are some other practices that can be good for your life that might help with those things outside of just medicine. So consider like expressing gratitude can lower your stress levels by fostering a sense of perspective and appreciation. So you're gaining a different perspective by starting to notice the positive things that are going on, which elevates your appreciation in the moments, which can help reduce your stress, ultimately impacting anxiety that you feel. So that's a huge impact on mental health. And when it comes to that decreased risk of depression, there are studies that suggest that gratitude can reduce symptoms of depression by promoting optimism and reducing rumination, where you're not like constantly playing negative things over and over in your head, where you're just replaying the bad things. You can get your mind out of it by starting to promote optimism through that consistent practice of recognizing the positive things going on in your life. So those mental health benefits, that's one. Health, fitness, fat loss, sleep, all goals that are impacted by the fuel you put into your body. I've tried meal prepping at home, and I've tried multiple meal prep companies, including those that deliver, but I'll be honest, nothing has been better than the meals I get from Prepping with Peppers. They offer fresh, never frozen meals on a weekly rotating basis, so you don't have to get tired of eating the same meals over and over again. So save yourself some time for the things that matter most by ordering your meals at preppingwithpeppers.com. Now, number two, you've got emotional benefits. So there's enhanced resilience, like the way that you respond in situations are more resilient, because even when something bad happens, if you're consistently practicing gratitude, you may recognize, first off, like things could be worse, but you may be able to point out good things that are still underlying in the situation, so that you are not only focused on negative, and that can help you with recognizing how you can more effectively respond to that, impacting your emotions in a more positive way. Then you have increased empathy. So practicing gratitude can lead to greater compassion and understanding toward others. So just through understanding the negative and positive of a situation, you might be able to lend a different perspective to somebody else going through things, or understand at least, why they are having a hard time seeing what to be grateful for or what to be positive about in a moment. And that can lend itself to you being able to be more empathetic in your responses to people. And I'll get into how that impacts other things more in a second. And then you've got stronger self-esteem. So focusing on what you have rather than what you lack. And that'll boost your confidence and your self-worth. How impactful would that be? If you start to have that stronger self-esteem, just because you're recognizing the good things, you're recognizing what you do have, instead of focusing on what you don't have, what you wish you had, what the downside was, what didn't go right for me today. If you allow your mind to gravitate toward the negative, it will, because it wants to defend you. But is it serving you? Ask yourself, is it serving you? Because if it's not, how do we find a positive? How do we start to practice finding positives? So work in the practice consistently. You'll start to see them in the moment, and that can help with that self-esteem. Now, moving on to number 3, physical health benefits. So we're looking at potentially better sleep. If we're doing that gratitude journaling at night, it's a great way to clear your mind. So it can improve your sleep quality and duration, because you're not having to, turn the wheels in your head when you lay your head on the pillow and you think about a million different things that keep you from falling asleep at night. Like, we've all done that. We've all been there. But by consistently practicing gratitude journaling, not only are you getting in a more positive mindset right before bed, but you're also clearing your thoughts out of your head. Like, you write down the thoughts that you have, focus them on positive, you put yourself in that lowered stress state, and you clear your mind right before bed. Now you're able to lay your head on the pillow with a little bit clearer conscience and get that better sleep quality, which is going to have an impact on the emotion and the mental health and everything else too. You've got lower blood pressure. So gratitude is actually linked to physiological benefits, including better heart health. So think about that, where we talked about the reduced stress and anxiety. If you're reducing your stress and anxiety and how you respond in situations, you are ultimately impacting your physiological response in your body, which can have an impact on that blood pressure and have an impact on your overall health. And then improved immune function. So you can also reduce effects of stress, enhancing your immune response. So all of it is tying together. That doesn't tie, like, it ties back to everything else I just said on the reduced stress and lowering the blood pressure. That is going to enhance your immune response. So there's multiple physical health benefits as well. Then you have social benefits. If I'm expressing gratitude regularly to my friends, to the people that I work with, how are they going to feel? It's going to strengthen the relationship because it's building bonds and it's making other people feel valued and appreciated. Can you imagine, if you don't already, going to work and not only being able to just openly express gratitude for people when they do something great, or even if it's not great, for something that they did, like just for helping somebody, for showing up, for the little things that are often overlooked on a daily basis. Now, if you start to thank people, if you start to show that you appreciate the little things, how's that going to make them feel? And if they feel better, if they feel appreciated by you, how are they going to respond whenever you need something from them? How are they going to respond if you're regularly telling them they do a good job? If you're regularly recognizing them, then when you need something bigger, when you need something, and this is not about setting up a quid pro quo. It's not about trying to manipulate anybody. This is about genuinely expressing gratitude, and ultimately it's going to improve those relationships. And yeah, there may come a time where you ask for things, and you get a way better response. But then turn the table and now imagine that people are doing that for you. How are you going to feel? If you're showing up to work and people appreciate just that you showed up, that you're there, that you're giving the best that you have that day, even if it's not 100%, you're giving the best that you have. How are you going to feel if people are expressing that they appreciate it? So just think about that in terms of how impactful it can be to relationships if you start to practice recognizing it and expressing it. You build greater connection that way and ultimately enhance your workplace dynamics through everything that I just talked about. Now, moving on to the last one, cognitive benefits. Increased focus. So ultimately, gratitude can help train the brain to recognize positive patterns, improving your mental clarity. So where I talked about starting to get those patterns and readily recognizing the gratitude in the moment, that's going to help with your mental clarity and increase your focus. And then boosted creativity. So a gratitude mindset can foster openness to new ideas and innovative thinking. All of those things. If you did not have a why, or you questioned, like, is it worth my time to build in 5 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes a day on just practicing gratitude every day, it can do all of those things in your life for you. And I can tell you that there are times where I forget, but the times where I'm regularly focused on gratitude, they're the times that I feel the best. They're the times that, like, I respond the most effectively at home and at work. They're the times that I appreciate the most. They're the times that I create the best memories because I'm thankful for the opportunity to even be in that moment to create the memory. And so there are people who ask, like, how are you so positive all the time? And I've talked about that before. I'm not. I have my down days. I have my frustrations. And I have my set of challenges that I face in life. But I'm thankful. And I try to practice it as consistently as possible. And because I do, it makes it a little bit easier to catch those positive things in the moments, to express gratitude in the moments. And that is what makes all the difference. And now that's me from my experience, my perspective. But this information is backed by research too. You know, if the Master Resilience Training Program in the military is teaching, practicing Hunt the Good Stuff, is teaching that gratitude journaling to build optimism in your life, they're teaching it for a reason. Like that, there are universities that do research on it. Like it is truly impactful, and so just don't ignore it. You know, it's worth building into your life. It's made an impact for me. So I wanted to make sure I spent time on it. And with that, I hope you all had an incredible, incredible Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to reflect and spend time with family and friends and have some great food. If you are on the health journey like me, I hope that you allowed yourself, you know, some cheats or some treats at least. But also there are more holidays around the corner. And so I think this is the perfect time to just think about this, to remember to be grateful for everything in the season, regardless of what you do or don't have. Take the time to focus on what you do have, regardless of what's missing, you know, because sometimes it's family members that we wish were still there. You know, sometimes it's us seeing other people get great things and, you know, wishing we had some of them. There's a lot of stuff that can interfere with our ability to recognize all of the good stuff going on around us. And so I just wanted to bring it up. I hope you all have a great holiday season. There's some more exciting stuff coming up around the corner. I'm also doing a macro class at Prepping with Peppers on December 12th in Louisville, Kentucky. Would love to see you all out there if you want to get your macros on track for the new year. Would love to help you out with making sure that you've got a plan in place and you are ready to tackle your New Year's goals with intentionality. So I hope to see you all there for that. Thank you for tuning in, allowing me to be a part of your journey. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, share it, and comment with your thoughts and questions to join the conversation. And let's grow.